Hello, this is Beverly with the April 2025 I Ching reading. This Yang Metal Dragon month promises to be full of twists and turns. It is the last month in the spring trio. So there's a lot of pollen in the air here in Austin, and I'm having a bit of a flare. So if I look a little peaked, that is what's going on. Thank you, trees, for doing your thing. The card for April, when you put together the uh, yang metal energy with the dragon energy, you end up getting number 11, peace. Peace is an interesting card here because you've got this image of a beautiful mountain with a calm stream. And it looks like you are looking through potentially curtains or perhaps pillars of some sort. And there's a little tiny white bird that is flying above the water. So it's a very relaxing, peaceful situation. The words on here are harmony, balance, perfection, equipoise, a sense of well being, favorable conditions, and expansion. Now, I don't know about you, but I listen to a lot of other astrologers because I think it's very interesting. And they have not been predicting peace for April. So this was kind of a surprise for me when I saw this. However, here's the thing. Peace, this is really talking about that midpoint between dark and light, that midpoint between, sometimes it's that calm, that between the chaotic experiences. Um, and it is that option that we always have to take a deep breath so that we can find that center. It's that regrounding that we all can get. Peace doesn't necessarily mean that okay, everything is fine for the next month. It could be that simply in this moment right now, this is where we get to take that breath, ground ourselves, reconnect with the earth, reconnect with our source, and we can find that peace. Peace within chaos is truly the ultimate goal in life. It says, you can be certain that present conditions will not last indefinitely, so use this time to reach out to life with your whole being. Let others know what your dreams and plans, and be open to whatever comes your way, and consider every possibility because there are great opportunities hidden in the most unexpected places. So even if life is great for you right now, fantastic. Don't squander that time. If life is turning out to be really chaotic right now, just know that it's not going to always be chaotic. Find those moments and grab hold of them. Okay, so the next card is kind of following along the same theme. It's called the Darkening of the Light. As you can see, there's on the card, to describe this, there's a woman who is kind of in a Zen state. She's in, looks like the moon is above her right shoulder, and she appears to be using her hand, the one visible hand, in a type of mudra. The position to as if she's going there. They're usually mudras are the fingers are connecting, they're touching. This is not the case here. So the words on this are maintain a low profile, look inward first, caution and moderation, difficulties, self-protection, and subdue your brilliance. I don't like to ever subdue my brilliance because, well, why? However, there are times when you do need to take a step back, where you do need to kind of pause again as you're grounding and using that piece. Um, so when you say the darkening of the light, it says many myths and traditions teach us to equate light with good and dark with bad. But as we know from the yin yang symbol, you are going to have both. You're going to have the good and the bad, the dark and the light, the masculine, the feminine, the fast moving, the slow, steady pace. All of those are linked together, and we can never be without one or the other. You can't go full throttle all the time. You have to take a pause. You have to go, oh, okay, here we are. We're going to find that peace again. So here it's, let's see. The focus is now on using the downtime creatively for self-development and working on your potential for remaining centered and true to your ideals, however dark and stressful any external forces might seem. Using this time intelligently will increase your ability to not collapse or throw in the towel of defeat by interpreting difficulties as absolute endings. The focus line on this card, so for a little bit more clarification, is number one. This is the bottom line. This is the one that really is about going deep within ourselves to find our grounding, and to find our own inner truth. And the clarifying point here is, in order to get back in touch with your truth, meditate on any areas of negativity that have begun to surface. Do not beat yourself up over the past. Rather, be ready to let go of it. Taking personal responsibility begins with self-acceptance and forgiveness, and is a big step towards restoring equilibrium for yourself and with others. Again, deep breath. Think of the seeds. They have to go into the dark before they can germinate, and then they come up. Then they'll be ready to accept that warm summer sun to finish growing. All right, the next clarifying card is number 42, increase. Again, notice I talked about seeds. This card has all these beautiful flowers, oranges and white, cream. It could be considered red, but there's beautiful glow of the rising sun. Increase card says sharing, reaping rewards, overflow, expansion, flowering, encouragement, fertile ground, and abundance. Increase all this month that is good and true. This is, again, another card that focuses a lot. You can focus your attention on, what you think about, you bring about, where your attention goes, energy flows. Be mindful of where you are putting your attention. Attention is the commodity of our new era. Even what I'm doing here, I'm asking for some of your attention. I try to make this a positive experience, and one that will allow for your soul to find some hope, to find some, not necessarily purpose, although, hey, I'll go for that too. But to find that joy that is existing in all of us at all the time. It's sometimes there's so much heaviness in the world around us that we lose sight of it. It might get covered up with other things, but that's why nature is such an important teacher, because nature, in the fullness of spring, it just is being beautiful. It doesn't judge you. It doesn't say, oh, well, you don't believe the way I do, so no flowers for you. No, it's just blesses us all with all of the abundance out there. And again, as I said, right now, there is an abundance of pollen that no amount of allergy meds can get you past that. You just got to go through it. Generosity is a simple affair, and the true benefits are primarily experienced within. They are revealed when spirit is unbounded, not constrained by greed or small-mindedness. It's tragic to be shrunken and contracted, but it's magic to experience the inner richness and to spread it around without reservation So much more is available when we come from a place of plus rather than minus. So even as you're reading the news and seeing all of these opportunities for people who are trying to minus our society, you don't have to follow along with that. You can be as generous as you possibly can. Now, the focus line here is two, which again is an internal process. This is again you starting to say, okay, I've done the deep work. Now we're getting it centered. Where it's showing up more in how I talk and how I act. It's you haven't quite gotten to pulling it out into the external world, but you are really internalizing these messages. So the line two here is, as your field of influence expands, your actions can go a long way towards setting wholesome precedents for others. It is appropriate and intelligent to suffuse all that you do with gratitude for the support you have been given from so many directions. Let the increase proliferate. All kinds of projects can flourish in leaps and bounds now, but be sure not to neglect the everyday simplicities of life as you embrace the opportunities that open to you now. So, yeah, again, think about where can you bless others? How can you be that bright light for others who might be having a dark time? We have no control over what's happening in the rest of the world, but we absolutely have control how we respond to others. So use that generosity. The final card here is number 56, the Wanderer. The card on this one is, you can see it looks like an old man with a walking stick walking through kind of a foggy, mountainous, rocky looking area. A road. Actually, no, that's a big tree. It's not a rock. That's like a evergreen tree. But the Wanderer is talking about traveling, adventure, movement, coping with unfamiliarity, a pilgrimage, aloneness, and broaden your horizons. This is very appropriate for some of the messages that I've heard from other astrologers, psychics, intuitives. April being a dragon month is going to bring about a more top overview type of situation where this is going to be more of a big picture impact. Um, we're in a snake year, and snakes and dragons are kind of the yin yang of, and they're like great little pair, because the dragon is more of the let's go above and look, see how the situation is from the sky. The snake literally has its belly to the earth, and it's feeling those subtle vibrations. Um, Dog energy and dragon energy can be a little conflicted this month, but it just means it's change. It's an opportunity to go, ooh, maybe I'm going the wrong direction. I now have this dragon overview that can guide me out of the woods. So travel means change, and changes mean vulnerability. When breaking new ground, no matter how prepared you might be, sometimes you won't have a clue where you are or what is happening. Life on the road brings up all kinds of challenges you never would have had to face in the safety of familiar surroundings. And unfamiliarity is threatening to the personality that needs to know where it stands. So, if you're one of those people who needs a lot of control and certainty in your life, this could be a very uncomfortable month for you. By knowing that ahead of time, you can take the steps that you need to find your peace, find that peace, and be able to kind of go within and be grounded. Um, Another thing here is no one appreciates being judged as inferior, and once it happens, it creates wounds. The unhappy result of this kind of insensitivity can be that support, once given, is quickly withdrawn. And be wary of any temptation to condemn anyone or anything because it is different than from what you know. Whether when judgments are spoken or formed only in thought, to indulge them will create problems sooner or later. This childish habit is a byproduct of insecurity, which puts the unfamiliar down in order to feel superior. So, kicking down is a bad thing. Um, Looking at others because they have different habits and traditions than you, me, without exploring them and automatically judging them as inferior, that's a very short sighted, narrow minded point of view. I strongly encourage you to perhaps adopt a more mindset based more in curiosity. This one is number 5, and this is absolutely how you are interacting with the rest of society. As a stranger in a strange land, you stand a much better chance of fitting in if you study the locals. This will help you relax, and others will feel more comfortable too. Then you can ease into feeling right at home. We all want our comforts around us all the time. But one of the joys of traveling and expanding outside of your own little narrow view and own narrow part of the world is you get the opportunity to expand, to challenge your peace, to find that wherever you are, to notice and be that fly on the wall and say, "Ooh, what can I learn from this situation?" That's where we are all tasked this next month, is to see about getting that overview. Maybe not getting so caught up into trying to make everything else fit our narrow paradigm. Perhaps we can look and see where we can learn. Now, this energy starts on April 4th and goes through May 4th, April 4th to May 4th. And we're already starting to feel a few of those echoes. We just finished with the eclipse season. We've got Mercury going direct, I believe, on April 6th. So we're still kind of in that loosey-goosey time frame. And that's okay to feel a little bit, well, loosey-goosey. I hope this has helped someone. Thank you very much. And no, happy April.